our next report, we are going to hear our friend from India. It's Samir Shah, advocate, international arbitrator, mediator, and founder of ADR bar from India. And the topic of his report is Arbitration and Technology, Asia Perspective. Dear Samir, the screen is yours. You are very welcome.
Thank you so much, and good morning to all the participants. First of all, let me thank Alexei for inviting me on this fabulous event covering different jurisdictions on various topics. And I have been asked to speak on this particular topic of technology and arbitration, which has become very relevant, especially during and after the pandemic. And therefore, I would be sharing with you my views on this topic with the Asian perspective. You see, when we talk of Asia, I think it's the biggest group of countries and jurisdictions where the actual trade and economy as of now is flourishing, compared to the Western countries. And because of this, huge increase in the trading relation amongst the Asian countries and between the Asian and the Western countries as well, obviously disputes have bound to increase as well because of various obvious reasons. Now, Asia, for that matter, has some of the robust arbitration institutions and arbitration centers from Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, Malaysia, who are competing especially Singapore for that matter, is now competing with London as the #1 arbitration center or hub for international arbitration disputes. Now, having said that, of course, the focus of the trading community and, of course, the legal services are definitely on Asia for that matter. And therefore, when pandemic happened, and this, the relationship or the focus on Asia was there before COVID, and it continued even after that. But during and after COVID, there had been a little shift or change as we look to the arbitration dispensation or the adjudication of arbitration disputes, particularly when they were locked and when the issues of airlines being stopped, there was no traffic to go. I mean, you cannot make a move from one country to another. And hence, technology during this period played a very important role in continuing the process effectively of international arbitration. And the best and most used platform during this pandemic was, of course, Zoom. Now, let me share with you, and you would also be knowing that so far as online process in international arbitration was concerned, it was nothing new. Even before the pandemic, there were, many meetings used to happen on videos, on online, platforms, Skype for that matter initially, and Zoom also. So, so far as online was concerned, it was nothing new for the community, for the international arbitration community. However, what made this online platforms like Zoom an important part of adjudication and dispensation of arbitration process during pandemic has to be understood, has to be appreciated. And this technology, in fact, brought the world so close with each other, and it gave that much flexibility to the process. Also reduced the cost to a considerable extent, because the parties saved on the travel costs, venue cost, and other miscellaneous and administrative expenses to a larger extent. And therefore, technology definitely played a very important role in effective administration of international commercial arbitration. And Asia definitely was not behind this technology revolution. In fact, Singapore, Korea, and Hong Kong, if I'm not wrong, they came out with specific online dispute resolution rules inbuilt in enter rules to facilitate international arbitration cases solely on the basis of technological help. And I must say that, if you have not, then please read these rules, especially Singapore and Seoul's COVID protocol rules, so far as online arbitration is concerned. They are so effectively being laid down and covers of online arbitration. And considering the report which have come out and the survey which were conducted, definitely technology has in a very big way of continuing the international arbitration is across jurisdiction, including Asia. Now, we have moved from the simple or useful or known technologies like Zoom, platforms like Zoom, Meet, Google Meet, and all, to now some very advanced platforms and technology. What we normally you will be hearing the terms like metaverse and blockchain and Web3 and so on and so forth. Now, all these are still being looked into. They are still being explored. How these advanced technology or platforms can be helpful for international arbitration process as such. In fact, last year, ICC had launched this particular, technology or platform so far as metaverse is concerned, arbitration metaverse. And this year, in fact, Abu Dhabi Center has also come out with mediation in metaverse. So things are definitely advancing and advancing fast. Technology is being also changing and is changing fast. Now, whether it is for good or bad, it is still undecided. There is still a debate going on. It has both the positive side as well as the negative side. Positive, of course, we all know, and I've just shared that with you. However, so far as the negative aspect is concerned, to me, in my personal view, I always ask this question that whether these kind of advanced technology are actually required for running a process of arbitration or mediation for that matter. Now, the reason being, if we look at the survey of carried out for how best the arbitrations cases are being conducted across different institutions, the report or the survey is very positive. On an average, an arbitration case is the final award is passed within 2 or 3 years maximum, as such, on an average, I would say, and which is quite efficient for that matter, even for high stake cases. And now we have provision of fast track arbitration, emergency arbitrators, and all those provisions which will help small claims to be effectively and efficiently and within reasonable time being decided. So having said that, the question still remains out in my mind is, do we actually need these kind of advanced technology for arbitration or mediation of a ADR as such? Personally speaking, I don't think that we would be becoming so much dependent on these technologies, dependent over and above our own human efficiency or our own human involvement. You see, at the end of the day, more particularly in mediation, I think it is the human connect which is more effective and which is more required than the technology as such to effectively make the parties try to settle out or resolve the dispute. Similarly, in arbitration, I agree to an extent, technology can be helpful so far as, let's say, the case management part is concerned, and evidence for that matter, when the parties are in different jurisdictions, definitely technology helps in reducing the cost and increasing the efficiency and bringing people together effectively and efficiently at very reasonable cost. But having said that, making everything technology driven, including, finally adjudicating or deciding dispute through AI and blockchain, I think we are really taking our technology too much granted. And I don't think that we need that much involvement of technology in arbitration process as such. So what I is of the opinion that there must be some limitation where we may use the technology at one particular level, a stage of arbitration, and then it has to be done. It is being done in a traditional way, where the the process is run in person, or at least it is the arbitrator or tribunal who are actually putting their personal mind into the adjudication of the process, rather than depending upon the technology to finally decide the dispute. So in my view, including this, I think technology definitely is helpful, but it's in our hands how far we make it helpful and fruitful and constructive for the arbitration, rather than allowing it to take over the human connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear Samir. Technology is definitely could facilitate arbitration proceeding, but is there some threats what we will miss about arbitration in Stockholm, in Paris, in visiting different countries, different venues, and maybe just switching on online arbitration. Thank you. We are waiting for your publication, your article based on your report for our online journal, Chamber of Arbitrators. Dear participants, if you have any questions for our speakers, please feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I will ask our speakers and read your questions. If we don't have any